Well, welcome to Rogers Freestyle Machine Shop. Our motto here is you're better off to do it poorly than not at all. So come on in, let's take a look around, see what we got to play with here. And of course every shop's got to have a Wilton vise. There's a 5-inch Wilton. Boy, that thing, you put something in there, it's in there. Got a 7 horsepower air compressor. We got a couple cone anvils here guarding the front door. There's one there, 4-footer, and there's a little shorter model. And the most important thing in the shop are these chairs. And in the summertime, all the fans and blowers. There's where the big shot sits. And that pretty much explains my job here, is to take care of all that. And then plus this fan here, make a little bit too much noise. There's a motorcycle I built. I guess that was about 10 years ago. Little bobber. I had that beard. I was going to Alaska, so I grew myself a beard so I didn't look out of place. There's a nice little stainless steel cannon I built. I think it's 3/4 inch bore. Stainless isn't the most fun thing to play with, but I mean, it works all right. There's a cannonball safe from 1916, got a triple time clock in it. I kind of like safes. I got a few safes. This is my Schaublin Swiss jeweler's watchmaker's lathe, and I picked it up a couple weeks ago. This is what I'm going to keep, and when I go to the old folks home, I'm going to take it in there and make chips and make a mess and have some fun. And so this is kind of a fun thing. Boy, these things really are some nice quality. Does some really nice work. And they came with a lot more attachments than I know what to do with. It's got just about everything you could use. I'm not sure what else they had. I'm sure there's a lot more stuff. But you can see it's got quite a bit. It's got the overarm little belt drive system for it that can run the milling machine and the grinder. I've got a little polishing thing that came with it that I run off it with one of them little orange belts. There's a 6-inch steam whistle. Picked up in Wisconsin a couple years ago. I used to do a lot of swap meets and buying and selling steam engines and steam stuff and anvils and that kind of stuff around the country. Minnesota, New Mexico, Arizona, Wisconsin, all over. Enjoyed that. So I've accumulated a little bit of stuff that I've kept over the years. So this is my shop. My shop's about 16 feet wide and about 60 feet long. So there's, of course, politically we're somewhat conservative. I grew up here in Daytona Beach since 1951. I've been here, so anyway, this is where we come and play every day. Here's a 26 Indian. Picked it up in Illinois a couple of years ago from Junior. And it's all complete. Got good compression, got spark, everything's there. Carburetor, clutch, transmission. It's pretty nice little outfit. We have a security camera system here with 8 cameras and a security system. Armed with the police department. Got a big old antique fire sand bucket up there and a crucible and a little bit of all kinds of junk. There's a horse and a half economy. That's a pretty complete old engine, and it runs quite well. And there's a ship's bell up there from 1898. It's all the brass says can be 1898 on it. So there's that thing. And here's another one of my little projects. Picked this thing up last winter from Billy Lane. It's a 51 Mercury. We took it apart and cleaned it up and got it all working, got the valves, they were all stuck, and I built this little stand and little dash, and we got a video on YouTube about it, so if you want to watch that you can. Got them carburetors from old Frank up in Illinois. Made the air cleaners for it, and so it runs real well. No cracks in the block, and got good oil pressure, got over 100 pounds compression in every cylinder. More of my tooling, junk. That engine's sitting on a bike table. If you're going to work on motorcycles or have motorcycles, you want one of them handy bike tables. That's the only way to work on them. This is a part of my collection of sheet metal stakes, metalworking stakes. And I grew up in a sheet metal shop, so that's kind of got some nostalgia value there. There's another one of my blowers. I try to get them all going the same direction, get a little breeze through here in the summertime. There's a hog splitting tool there from Iowa, meat cleaver. That's original signed. So we just got a lot of stuff in here. There's some more of those sheet metal stakes. There's one there, and some more of them over there. There's another Wilton vise and another workbench on wheels that rolls around. As you know, workbenches become shelves. That's just a wide storage shelf, but I clean it up once in a while and try to take care of it. We got of course we got a welder. We got this Supermax milling machine, which I use mostly for my milling, and I put the automation direct frequency drive on it, which I have 3-phase here, but it makes a nice speed control, and I put a remote switch on it. And so I put it in 1750 RPM on the belt and use that speed control and back gears, and that'll do everything I need it to do. That's a nice little machine. There's another fan we got. And here's an old Greenard arbor press from 1901 is the date on it. It's about 5 foot tall. It's seen some pretty rough service, but I use that once in a while. And there's a Champion drill press, number 4 Morris taper in it, and you can drill some pretty good holes in it. I got a little sign there for Trump there by my front door, so people won't get any wrong ideas about my political involvement. There's a Ellis miter saw, which those things are real nice. I think that's their smaller one, and it didn't come with a vise, so when I got that, it was all rusted up, nothing would turn on it. I kind of cleaned it up, made a little vise for it. I've cut a lot of metal with that thing. There's a Rockwell sander, belt sander. And of course we got a dual bandsaw. I don't know, that's a pretty good size one. As you can see, there's a little rust on it. I'm gonna have to get on that. We live in Florida. We start with 100% humidity every day, and sometimes it doesn't get any better. And when we got a big temperature change, like in the winter time, it'll go from 40 to 70 in about 2 hours. Well, all this stuff starts sweating in here. Even the floor, I've even seen the floor with sweating with water on it. So we got to stay with it all the time. Another sander, another blower and stuff. There's some of my junk up there. There's a manifold for a flathead and some carburetors and a whole set of gauges from a refrigeration plant over in Pearson. Here's one of my newest acquirements. Hardinge World War II TR-59, and it's boy, this thing is a nice machine. I did a little work on the cross slide and got the ways all straightened out. Man, it got the chatter out of it, and it's just really fun to use. These little things will go up to almost 4,000 RPM, so you can do some small work with it. And it came with a 6-inch buck chuck, which is a little bit heavy for it, and it's got all the little four jaw chucks and the steady rest, and I mean, it's got all the attachments. I made the little collet rack. It didn't have a collet rack in it, and I had the collets. So that's my Hardinge TR. I got that little thing there right the other day from the little machine shop. They sent that. I kind of like that. That's going to work out nice. This is my Hardinge UM. It came along with the little Hardinge lathe. I got the two of them for less than $1,000, quite a bit less than $1,000, and this came with the vertical head and didn't come with the horizontal stuff, and I wanted horizontal because I got two other mills, so I made the horizontal. I made all this stuff here for it, and man, that thing works. When you want to do some milling, you put some iron in there or steel and turn that thing on. It just does the job. It doesn't make a fuss about it. It just goes to work. So we like that a lot. There's my Bridgeport, and mainly for drilling. It's a nice machine. It works very well. There's my stake sheet metal tools, and give you kind of an idea down the shop there. Kind of in the middle of the shop now, and there's kind of give you an idea. Not the worst place to work. I mean, there's nicer shops in the world, but man, I like this one. I'm very, very fortunate to have it. I've accumulated and upgraded and swapped and bought and sold and got this stuff over the years, and there's a little roll around table with a surface plate and a magnetic chuck on it. I use it a little bit for setup stuff. Some of my junk. There's a couple cannons I made. These ones on the bottom, and that one up top there, that's the original 1890s yacht cannon or signal cannon. It's 8 gauge breech loader, strong cannon. There's another cannon, and golf ball mortar, and various engines. There's a little radial. That's a little radial a friend of mine built. Jim Tallhammer built that on a little shear line lathe and mill, and most of the parts on that he built on that little shear line. And he used to run that. It's 4-cycle spark plug, and that's a pretty neat little thing. Here's a little critter I was involved in at one time. I discovered that. It's at the local museum. I got the museum involved. That was a long time ago. And there's my Rockwell surface grinder and a little polisher in front of it. And I use this little surface grinder a little bit once in a while. Drill press, which I hardly ever use. Rockwell, I like the Rockwell stuff. Got a Rockwell lathe. That's pretty nice. I had that 13-inch South Bend that Smokey Enoch used to have, and I sold it, and I picked this up last winter, and this is about 10 times better lathe, I think. For me it is anyway. It works better for my style. There's a 1920 Indian. There's a little turret thing. There's a 16 Indian Power Plus. And a piece of a Sportster and a couple pieces of a panhead. And there's a nice little steam governor. That's a 1-inch Pickering. If anybody needs that, let me know. That thing could leave here. Set of snips. There's my little overhead crane there that I pick up. It'll pick up 400 or 500 pounds pretty easy without any problem. Some old Mercury heads. There's a little colonial anvil from the 1700s, and it's about the only anvil I got left. It's not very big. I think it's about 85 pounds. And but that's all I need. I don't do real blacksmithing work. And I don't know. Here's I don't know if anybody knows what these things. Take a guess at what those things are. Those are for a bull. No, not what you think. They're to put on his horns and make his horns grow down. So they're kind of neat. Got another little Wilton vise, 4-inch or 3.5, I think, and it's got a date of 1945, which I think means it was made in 1941, or maybe it's 19. But anyway, it interpreted it out to being made in 1941. I think that was the first year of production. There's that shear line lathe that my friend built that radial engine on, and some of my junk. So don't be afraid to leave some comments and let me know what you think, good, bad, or indifferent. And if you see something in here you feel like you need to share with me, let me know and we can discuss it. There's some things I don't want to get rid of, but there are things in here that could leave and I wouldn't be too unhappy. So all right, thanks for watching, and catch you later. Remember, you're better off to do it poorly than not at all.